What up, what up? All my scientists, my artists, my philosophers, my geneticists, my roboticists, my biologists, my archaeologists, my astronomers. Let's get busy. This has been Busy from the Burbs.
One. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Busy from the Burbs of the Massive Ton, and I'm chilling with the Trailer Park Master Chef himself, Alan Moore. What's up, Alan?
What up? How's it going, Ben?
It's good, man. It's good in Osaka time. How is it in South Carolina time?
Rainy, man.
Rainy out there?
Pouring down rain. Like nuts, dude. It's like never stopped from the flood.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy right now. But like it's starting to wear down, so I'm hoping the days will be a little bit longer than they've been with this time setback.
Well, I hope that there isn't more damage incurred as a result of rising floodwaters than there already has been.
I think it's all done.
It's done?
You would have to have so much rain to try to get it back to where it was. I think everything is pretty much good in the way of the flooding.
Oh, okay. So that flooding was
Yeah.
a result of like a serious deluge.
Yo,
then.
It was a lot. It was like they said it was more rain than they'd ever had in 1,000 years.
What?
Yeah, it's an 1,000-year storm is what it's quoted as being.
1,000-year storm.
A 1,000-year storm.
Wow.
Absurd. Yeah, man.
That's a lot of storm.
It's serious business.
Speaking of serious business, what do we got in the news? We were talking about off mic, Senator Lindsey Graham. I don't know if you saw this, but he was General Dunford, who is the what is he? The Joint Chiefs of Staff, like the head honcho in charge. He was before Congress with what's his name? This Defense Secretary Ash Carter. Secretary of Defense Carter, who is you all right there? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, they were before Congress, and Lindsey Graham, who is the senior senator from your state of South Carolina,
He's the softest human being.
Yeah, he's
on the face of the planet.
He's so weak. He's such a soft bastard, and all of it. There was so much grandstanding. There was so much grandstanding.
I just don't think that he ever has had the opportunity to be a part of something that high profile in his career ever. So I think that like him to get a chance to be there, he was like, look at me, I'm in front of you and I'm asking you some serious questions right now.
Right.
Except it just like...
That wasn't the place to do that.
You're looking at like a military professional who's probably killed more people than you have seen.
Personally. Like he's personally killed people. He's personally separated people from their lives.
And you are about as qualified as an elementary school teacher.
Yeah.
And you're standing in front of this man and like trying to be assertive.
Yeah. Right. And
that dude just looked at him like he was a fucking comedy show.
It pained me to see General Dunford have to suffer that. Yeah. You know, he's not like, I don't know. He's a killer. You know, it's like for someone like that soft, like basically like he's like marshmallows. Senator Lindsey Graham is just like a bunch of marshmallows stuffed into his suit.
It's like someone came up and just like beat him, like slapped him in the face with a bag of like Jet Puff.
Yeah.
And just always kept hitting him with it.
Yeah.
And that was the extent of that tongue lashing.
The expression on his face.
Lindsey Graham.
The expression on his face is the expression that he has when his grandchildren are beating him in a pillow fight. Like he was just like kind of exhausted with it, like kind of wants to just like, you know, wants to go take a nap or whatever, like maybe like chill out, watch TV or something.
And they just keep hitting him with the pillows.
They keep
or
hitting
bags
him
of
with
marshmallows, as it were.
Yeah, that was difficult to see. What else is in the news? What else is in the news?
Anonymous started unmasking members of the KKK that are apparently a part of the GOP.
Speaking of Lindsey
GOP
Graham.
GOP affiliated.
Right. Speaking of Lindsey Graham. So, like, who have they outed?
Right now, it doesn't seem like it's anybody high profile. A lot of
Okay.
it is like mayors and senators from states and stuff like that. But let me see. I just can't find anybody that really stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let me go back to where I was at.
There were a number of names released. For those who don't know, Anonymous. If you're not familiar with Anonymous at this point, then I don't know what we're going to be able to do for you because, that's something that everyone should know. But if you don't know what Anonymous is a hacker collective. It's hard to really put a pin in exactly what Anonymous is. Anonymous is everything, Anonymous is nothing. But they have been involved in several high-profile data leaks. I don't know if was Anonymous behind Ashley Madison or was that somebody else?
Oh no, yeah, that was definitely anonymous.
Okay.
they
And yeah,
yeah, they
the
they
thing about
did all
it,
those email addresses. They put it on the dark web. They put it all over the place, all over the internet.
well, the other thing about Anonymous is that it's kind of an organization of opportunity for people who want to release information but don't want to release it under their own like made up organization or their own name. So there's a lot of releases or operations that are attributed to Anonymous, which may not be Anonymous at all. But that's like kind of the point of the group is that Anonymous is everything, Anonymous is nothing.
Anybody can be a part of anonymous if you want to be. It's just
Right.
what do you have to bring to the table that could help their cause, whether it's like server bandwidth, stuff like
Right.
that. They can use you as like a hub to DDoS servers, and you can basically claim like you don't know anything about it if it ever comes across and you were hosting something like that. Like there's really
Right.
no way they could pit it on you, and they can also benefit from you being involved. There's like all kinds of different ways that people get involved with anonymous, but basically the whole point is to accomplish some sort of goal. So I remember like the very first raid that ever happened back in it's probably like 2009, 2008 or
Define
2009,
raid.
where basically a raid is like anonymous basically gets a group together, and we're just going to call it anonymous for the sake of anonymous, but it could just be a bunch of idiots on the internet, and we all happen to come across each other and we go, okay, we want to fuck with these people. So we'll get 30 of us. We'll turn on like low orbit ion cannons or something, which is like a bit of software that makes it very user accessible to test the bandwidth of a server by sending multiple messages to it. So like if I wanted to test the bandwidth of my friend's server and see how many messages it could receive before it crashed, I could just resend him messages over and over again, and we can kind of test the limits of his server or his internet connection, as it were. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all that's used for. That's all that's used
Mm-hmm.
for. So, uh, or you can get together and people like raid chat rooms. They'll fax black construction paper to somebody over and over and over again just to flood out their printers. They'll do all kinds of stuff. And a lot of it now is like online attacks. But before, like back in 2008, that's what they were doing to the Church of Scientology in Florida.
Right.
They
That's
would take black pieces of construction paper and they would just like fax them to the offices over and over and over again, and they literally had to have Staples trucks bring paper and like inkjet cartridges and stuff to this huge like church in the middle of nowhere.
oh,
It was
that's in
crazy.
like Kissimmee, Florida, or Clearwater, or wherever they're
That was in
based down there.
Orlando. There's one in Tampa. Was the big one, if I'm correct. I have to look it up. It's been a long time. I haven't
I
really looked
hear
at it.
that Scientology is like dropping membership left and right. Like
Yeah,
by this
there's a lot
time
of
in
people coming out
2018,
against
they're
it.
going to be done.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
people coming out against it that are high profile celebrities and stuff.
Yeah. Um, I don't see a very bright future for Scientology, like in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's gonna die, man. There's a lot of high profile celebrities coming out against it right now, actually.
Yeah, there was some female Scientologist who was an actress who spoke out recently. I guess the
Yeah, I think
death
that's gonna
knell.
cause a chain reaction, man. It's
Right.
over.
Yeah, that's all that they're waiting for. All it's going to take is like a J Travolta or a T Cruz to leave the ship, And
I don't
then
think Tom Cruise is ever going anywhere. They gave him a medal, bro. He is L. Ron Hubbard reincarnated.
that was so. Did
That
you
was one of
watch
the
that?
things the girl said. No, I didn't watch the video, but I saw screenshots of it. That's what the girl said though in the article. She said growing up as a Scientologist, like if you disrespect Tom Cruise, you are disrespecting Scientology.
Wow, it's like disrespecting the Pope. How dare
Yeah.
you? How
It's
dare
like
you, sir?
he's the largest ambassador for our religion that there is on the planet.
Wow.
He is Elron.
Elron, the second coming.
And
There
that dude was the
was,
best con artist ever.
yeah, Leah Remini, who is, I don't know who the hell that is, but some Hollywood person, recently came out against Scientology on 2020. Oh, she's the, she played the female lead on King of Queens with, what's his name?
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Paul Blart Mall Cop, that guy. Rogan's buddy.
Kevin James.
Kevin James. K. James.
Kevin
yeah,
James.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who's like, he's pretty legit. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he's
that
a funny dude, man.
a lot of these actresses and actors that get wrapped up in the fabric of Scientology, the fabric of crazy, are just looking to advance their career. Because at some point, or there came a point where if you were a high-ranking Scientologist or you were in the Church of Scientology, that because of their what would you call it? They're kind of entrenched, like they're kind of like, I don't know. They had infected
ideology?
Hollywood at some point. They had a lot of connections, right? So it like made sense if your agent was like, well, you might consider joining Scientology because if you do, all these people are Scientologists. They all work in Hollywood.
Oh, you can like get in with them. The way I always looked at it, I don't know, man. That's a weird way of looking at it. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
The way I always looked at it was like the whole reason you're doing it is because you're looking for meaning in something and you can't find any, and you just have so much money to burn. And this place has offered you an answer, and all you need is $20,000, and they'll remove your thetans. So all
Which
you
is a
know
pretty
is
good
that
deal
thetans
when
are,
you think about it.
yeah, that's decent because thetans are bad. They're like
Yeah.
aliens, bro. They suck in your soul.
And they take
And
it.
like if you don't get rid of the thetans, you're just gonna have bad feelings the rest of your life. You're gonna be sad forever with the
I mean,
thetans,
what is the going rate for thetan removal? Like non-Scientology, are we
it
talking
depends
about? Like,
on what tier
30,000?
you're at, but I hear like it starts off at like 1,000 as
Okay.
like the entry fee,
All right.
and then like once you get in, then it's like, oh, we're gonna need 15 grand for this treatment, and then like another 10 for this,
Right.
and then like 4 weeks later, they're like, oh, by the way, we need this, and then people just keep paying. And then like you can't move up into in the church until you like pay a certain amount of money.
Which is
And then you
hilarious.
basically are buying ranks. So Tom Cruise is he basically owns Scientology indirectly by way of investment.
It has all of the rank like advancement of my local karate school when I was
Or like a
in fourth
Ponzi
grade.
scheme.
Yeah, it's a total Ponzi scheme. You're like buying ranks. Like
Yeah.
there are people who are getting belts in karate who is like, this person has no business. This person is like basically completely inept. Will basically get destroyed in a fight, but because they've spent so much money on lessons, they're kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of
They got a black belt, bro.
yeah, right, exactly. They bought
They're
a
gonna
black
crush
belt.
your soul.
Yeah.
Like what's funny, man, is like I got a buddy, and I always had a really weird opinion about that like concrete breaking stuff, because there's some really hokey type shit. This dude I've known for a long time though, and he used to fight for real. He like knew Muay Thai and stuff. He got into mixed martial arts before it was really really popular. Like I remember him having weird gloves, and he actually like started fighting MMA. And ended up getting his head bashed up real bad. So he was like, man, I got hit a couple times and I was like, I can't do this shit. And that's just because he'd had his head banged up so many times already.
Yeah.
Like he started getting punchy. He's young, man.
Yeah,
So he
that's-
stopped. So he started doing all that weird breaking shit, like all those like weird flips and crazy stuff. Yo, dude, that stuff is like, them breaking them bricks. I'm sure there's some sort of trick to it, obviously, with like physics, because they stack the bricks on those little sticks. And there's like barely any surface area for them to support, and then the
And they're
bricks on
made of
top
like
are gonna
really
break bricks on
porous
the
concrete.
bottom.
It's really
Yeah.
porous concrete too. It's like mostly sand in the concrete. Like,
But dude, like I watched him kick a baseball bat and shatter it. So like
well, I
he
mean,
ain't no
plastic
joke.
baseball bat. That's all.
Yeah,
that was,
yeah.
you
Well,
know?
it was just low density
Balsa wood.
polyethylene.
low density baseball, low density aluminum bat. Bent an aluminum bat in half. It was just
Dude,
low
he bent it
density
so hard.
aluminum.
Yeah, I could probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that stuff's pretty crazy. He has like all kinds of trophies and stuff. I want to go pay for a tournament so I
I
can get
mean,
some trophies.
yeah, okay. So there's some truth to the hokiness, but there's a lot of hoke. There's a lot of hoke to real. The hoke to real ratio is like seriously slanted in favor
Yeah.
of the hokum. You know,
Yeah, there's
and
a
that
lot
goes
of
with
hokiness
everything,
involved.
with religion too.
Like where they have those weird like Buzz Lightyear tops that are like black and red, and they have like the shoulders that extend out just a little bit past your shoulders to come to tips.
Have you ever seen that movie, The Fist Foot Way? With
The way of foot and fist.
The Way of the Foot and Fist, or whatever it is. The guy
I
from.
actually never got to watch it.
Oh my
But-
God, it's great. It's like
I
so
know who's
classic.
in it though. Kenny Powers is in that shit.
There was a time with martial arts when it was just firmly dominated by bullshit artists and con men. Like until very recently, actually, until like MMA really came to the fore as like, you know, a genuine display of martial ability.
Yeah.
You had
Then you see like Anderson Silva push kick someone in the face.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
Oh, that's what that really looks like.
Oh, that's what fighting. Oh, that's what martial. Oh, I see. Now. Like before, it was like every strip mall had its charlatan.
Karate
you know?
studio.
Yeah, their karate teacher, like in the
You didn't need a
Fist Foot Way.
license. You could like print a document off the internet.
Yeah.
Just be like, I got this online. I'm a master karate instructor. And they
Right,
knew the
exactly.
Taekwondo forms. You remember the kids that went to talent shows and they would do their forms?
Yeah, the katas.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the
And I'm
forms.
just like,
It's like just stop
dude,
it. Just
you're like, I don't even know what you're doing with your hands right now. It looks like you're doing a slow motion rave.
You're not going to
Like-
defeat anyone. Ironically, a lot of really good MMA fighters started in, you know, like Taekwondo or karate
Oh, yeah.
as a kid. But then
Well, 'cause
it's
you
like
see
they
someone
find
axe
Brazilian
kick and
Jiu-Jitsu.
you're like, oh, I can do that.
Right.
Like,
Then they find Jiu-Jitsu and it's like, oh, this is the real shit.
this
This
is
is
like
the real
functional
shit.
and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to
Jiu-Jitsu's
Taekwondo,
crazy.
but it's a
Dude,
lot of
there's
kicking.
like really effective shit in Taekwondo. Like that's not to say there isn't effective shit from every martial art, but like the way that it has been presented isn't always just for that. You know, there's like a lot of control that goes along and with martial arts a lot of times. Like Taekwondo is a very like form implemented thing, like for self-defense primarily. But like some of the kicks in Taekwondo are no joke.
Yeah, I mean they're impressive, but like good luck pulling that off in a fight. You know, if someone's
I mean,
closing
have you seen
distance.
someone get spinning heel kicked in
Yes,
the face?
it's devastating.
Holy
but
shit.
To be able to pull that off, you have to have
do
impeccable
it.
timing, right?
Yeah, but those
Am I
dudes
wrong?
do. But those dudes do.
Well, the ones
And
who
if
are
you
good
get
at
good
it. Yeah.
at it, if you get proficient at it, you could kick a man on the street in the face and he would never know what happened.
I don't know.
Like if you got good at it,
Yeah, but who would you
You
put
could
your money
easily-
on? Like someone like who are the comparable MMA like
anyone
who's
in MMA can do it now. That's the crazy thing. That's like a normal thing.
Right.
Like people throw spinning heel kicks
Right.
all the time now.
Yeah.
And it's just because you saw a couple people do it and they're like, oh fuck, that's like doable. If your motherfucker gets good enough at it and he can drill it from standing clean, if he walks up to the average fucking mug on the street and they get into a scuffle,
Yeah.
if he whips that fucking leg around and heals you in the face, you are never
no.
gonna know.
Yeah,
Like,
no. That's like
you will not even
That's
be ready
like-
for it. Like,
That'll
it's
be-
gonna-
yeah.
all
It's
of
the
a sudden,
most
like, he pivots
devastating
and his
move.
foot's in your face.
It's
like,
the most powerful move that the human body is capable of exerting on another
might
human
be.
being. Like
It has to be.
it's
Like,
yeah, it is. Like no, it's like scientifically proven. Like they showed there was some television show, I forget what it was, but they were like they had a bunch of sensors on a bunch of dummies, and like
You just like hit the shit out of it.
it's explosive force. It's like 2,000 pounds of
Yeah.
torque. I don't know what it is. It's an incredible amount, though.
Just
of course.
crushing your face.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's like
And the
your
scariest
brain
part
is.
about it isn't getting hit with it, because like I'm not afraid of getting hit with something like that, because I know if it hits me, like I'm gonna go to sleep. So like it doesn't really matter.
I'm
The
afraid to
scary
get
part-
fucking hit with something like that. Are you crazy?
The scary part about it is how fast that shit happens.
The scary part
'Cause,
about it is in 10
like-
years when you develop early onset Alzheimer's because of traumatic brain injury. That's the scary part about it.
Dude, it's how fast they can get that foot off the ground.
Yeah.
That's the scariest part about that kick, because like it can come out of nowhere. You literally whipped your body around faster than I could see you doing that.
Well,
Like, that's where it's scary.
It's the turning is disorienting, isn't it? I mean, I'm not a fighter. I don't understand it from the
it
fighter
could
perspective.
be.
But
It depends.
if you
you've
start
seen
to
it.
see someone turn, like John Jones was really his hallmark is like those spinning elbows, right? And it's kind of
that stuff's
disorienting.
nasty.
When someone starts turning around on an axis like that,
Yeah.
it's like
You gotta back up. The
Yeah,
whole
there's
point
no
is,
way
like,
you
you
have
have
to back
people.
up.
You see people try to do it and they miss and shit. It's pretty funny. Like Kale Sonnen did it to. Who did Kale Sonnen do it to? He tried to do it to John Jones. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, he tried to do it to. Was it John Jones or Anderson Silva? Might have been John Jones. He like tried to spinning back elbow him, completely missed, and then just got fucked up like immediately, just on the ground getting his head beat in. So, like,
oh yeah, yeah.
They
So when
work really good if you're good at them, but
Right.
like if someone did that shit to me in a fight, that's the one thing I'm very confident. If you try to spinning back elbow me, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you just completely gave me your back. You probably are missing. Like,
yeah.
unless you're like good at it, then you really.
Well,
fuck
John
me up,
Jones is a
but
fucking beast at it.
he would put me night in about a quarter of a second.
Yeah.
I would not even see it coming. I would lay down, just and die.
Well, so back to the point, like, okay, like Taekwondo, yeah, they're good with the kicks. If you can land a spinning heel kick, you're the fucking man. But I'm talking about your average, like, ground fighter versus your average Taekwondo martial artist.
Yeah.
The ground fighter's
jiu-jitsu
gonna
guy's gonna fuck
beat
that
him.
guy up every time.
Yeah, he's gonna take him to the
Yeah.
ground 99
Anybody
times out of
really
100.
grappling.
Yeah. So it's
Unless that dude happens to kick him in the face. Like,
like, right, yeah, exactly.
you gotta get, like, if he misses that first kick, he's good. He's fucked. That dude's done for.
Right.
You can, like, slap kick me in the arms all you want. I'm fucking you up. Like, but, like, that's what it is.
exactly
Like,
what it
those
is,
multiple
too.
kicks in the air and shit.
Slap,
those
slap,
fucking
slap,
They
slap, slap.
sting. You're like, ow,
slap,
fuck,
slap,
ow.
slap, slap,
Like,
slap.
Stop.
Yeah,
They're probably hurting their
the
foot more than
multiple
they're
air
hurting
kicks.
me.
They always
Yeah.
do that, like at competition, and it's supposed to be a
It's like,
demonstration.
it's
of, like,
impressive. Super impressive. Like,
Yeah, I
that
guess
control
aerobically,
is amazing.
in the
It's
same way
sweet,
that like the pole vault
looks
is
cool.
impressive.
Yeah, but like not really functional. I mean, I guess you could kick someone in the ribs and in the face, but like it's not. We're not playing Tekken, man.
Yeah.
Like
Speaking
you've
of
been
video
up on that
games,
foot too long. I'm gonna try to kick the shit out
have
of
you
you.
ever seen the guy do the spinning whirlwind kick like from Street Fighter?
Which dude?
Have you seen
Which
that?
dude? Like
I
on Street
don't.
Fighter?
There are guys on YouTube who actually can do this fucking kick, and they get like 2.5 revolutions about, and then they come down, but it still looks badass as fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Those guys are getting crazy now, especially those like parkour type dudes.
Yeah. Did you see
Oh
that
my
video I
God.
posted recently?
Which one?
The Asian dude, he looks like he's in Hong Kong, and you know they do these leaps where they spring off their arms and they don't even use their feet. Like they lunge forward, they lean forward.
Oh,
They-
you see them in the air, and
they
they're
hit-
like leaning forward in the air, and then they catch something with their hands and pull themselves over. it.
Yes. He did that twice in a row. He like bunny hopped
Jeez.
twice, like doing 2 mid-air, like no feet on the ground push-ups
He
on
has
2
so much
surfaces
control
separately.
going through the air. It's so bizarre to see that.
Yeah.
It's like Matrix in real life. Like, how do you
It's
even
really
fucking get to that
incredible.
point?
Or they do the wall jumps where they run up the wall at the hypotenuse of their whatever. They jump and they can like, you know, reach some ledge, and then they pull themselves up, and it's like you look at the wall and you're like, that's 12 feet in the air. Like, what
Yeah, you
the fuck?
literally just jumped over a car
Yeah.
4 or 5 times in a row.
Right.
Like, they're nuts, man. They climb walls that are like 12 foot high. And they hit it like 4 times with their feet, and they're at the top.
Amira, a good friend of ours, Amira, I don't know how much I can talk about what she's done, but there was a time when she was working alongside like some people who were just incredible athletes, like top level athleticism displayed on a daily basis. And she said that a lot of these parkour guys, like, yeah, it's really impressive, but it's perishable. Like, they're done. Their bodies are racked. Like, I don't know what it's like for skateboarding. It's probably similar in some respect. If you're
falling a lot,
or there's a lot of falling, there's a lot of fuck ups. You see on YouTube, you see all like the victories.
It's probably brutal on your knees too.
Yeah, your knees, your joints. I mean, and you could people. I don't know how many people have died. Like some of those.
You for sure.
Stunts. Oh,
there for sure has to be deaths. There's
easily.
no way.
50,
some of the stuff they're doing, you're jumping off buildings.
Yeah.
I've seen dudes make mistakes
Yeah.
and live just fine, like they didn't even hurt themselves. But like, bro, you were an inch to the left. Instead of racking your balls, like you would have killed yourself.
Right.
Like this dude, I saw a video that probably came out like mid 2007.
Right.
And it's this dude that jumps off of a roof. It is like a school, like the top of a high school roof.
Right.
Into a dumpster. I don't know what he was trying to do. I guess make it in the dumpster. He jumps like 20 feet out, lands crotch down on the corner of the dumpster.
Oh my God.
And he's just sitting there. And then he gets off. His balls are like racked, I guess, but then like he's good in like 30 seconds.
What? Yeah,
he
right.
Literally got so lucky that this happened to him. Like, I don't understand how. I was so confused. This dude was like, he was cool.
Yeah,
like,
he
I need
walked
to find
it
that
off.
video, actually.
That night, dude, he was pissing blood. I'm sure like one of his testicles was liquefied.
He got
like,
home and was just like he took his like sweatpants off and all of a sudden just like his body turned into flour.
Yeah. Just evaporated. A pillar of salt. Yeah.
Pillar of salt. There you go.
The many people have succumbed to kind of grisly demises, I'm sure. It's just that's kind of the rule for sports like that, right? And we consider it a sport.
It's gonna happen.
It used to be like this when it wasn't called parkour when I was growing up. It was called Jackie Chan. Like he was the only one that was doing this kind of stuff.
And then I think it was big in France too.
Right.
Well, maybe when you were a kid. I think like in the 90s. I know parkour has always been popular in France, but like I want to know when it got popular.
I started seeing it in like the early 2000s, bro. I'll be honest. Like it's not as old as the internet because I don't remember seeing it even at the beginning of YouTube, but obviously, things don't have to exist at the same time as YouTube. It probably existed before that.
Yeah.
Probably it was a gypsy art. Here I am like spinning the we'll build the mythos right now. So it was a gypsy art that was passed down through the ages, and it comes from ancient Arabia by way of Aladdin through the Romani gypsies into France. It sees its development skyrocket in France, and then you have the internet, and boom, the rest is history.
I have the actual thing.
One jump ahead of da-da. That's parkour, right? That was like the original.
That was pretty good, though. That was solid, man. That all came out flat. Like, I would have believed that.
Yeah, right?
I probably would have been like, damn, Ben, that's historian on parkour. I apologize for questioning you.
We need a parkour historian on this show.
Let's see. We have Wikipedia, though. Parkour was developed in France primarily by Raymond Bell and further by his son David Bell and his group of friends, the self-styled Yamakasi. During the late 1980s, the discipline was popularized.
The late 80s?
Yep, it started with the self-styled Yamakasi during the late 80s, the 1980s.
Yamakasi?
The discipline was popularized in the late 1990s and 2000s through films, documentaries, and advertisements featuring the Yamakasi.
Right. There
So
was
during the late 1980s is when it started.
a really popular film that blew up the parkour scene in the early 2000s, I think. I can't remember the name of it, but it was really impressive. And it's just got more and more impressive, you know. What I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to is like some kind of synthesis between parkour, the wingsuits, and base jumping. Like, if there was some synthesis of those three disciplines, it would be really impressive.
Wingsuiting is already insane. Those dudes are going like 200 miles an hour,
Yeah.
like 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Did you see the video
I think
of them?
any type of parkour at that point, you would just be like breaking every bone in your body.
Right. Yeah, I know. I think that's like a requisite for parkour, though, is that you have to have broken at least every bone in your body.
At least once.
At least once, right? Did you see the video of the guys with the wingsuits flying into the back of the C-130?
Oh no, I did not. Wait, you know what? I don't think I did. I feel like I would remember that.
I swear, like I mean, if they fuck up, they're dead. Like, there's no other way. And three of them, one after the other, all experts, they do this. And I have a feeling that it's too good. I think that maybe they reverse the footage
To have it look like they're coming out.
to have it look like they're going in.
Oh, and they came out instead, yeah.
Right, they came out instead.
I'm going to look at this right now. Misawa Air Base. This, how many views? This only has 212 views.
It's at Misawa?
I might be looking at the wrong thing. Jesus Christ.
Wingsuit into plane. Wingsuit. Men in wingsuits fly into plane. Yeah. You can't really...
Can't find it?
No, I found it. I'm looking at it right now. But it does kind of look like... It does kind of look like it's been reversed. It does... You can't really tell. I'll post a link for the listeners to take a look at. Maybe they can develop some consensus.
Send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now. It doesn't... It looks... It don't look right. I don't know. There's something about it. I can't tell, but it just...
Maybe it's so bizarre that... And so insane that you just never... You have a hard time processing it.
It's way too well executed.
Maybe they practiced it a lot. Those dudes have to have been wingsuiting for a long time.
That could be, but I mean, you had a wingsuiter who was an expert who just died the other day. Like, not the other day. I mean, it was like last month.
That's terrible. I mean, doing that, you probably have a very good chance of dying, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not really surprised to hear expert or not. You know, you're going like really fast over basically the side of a hill.
Yeah, right.
You're not even
like
really
within
like
feet
off
of
a
trees.
mountain.
Right.
You're protected only by a parachute, and even if you deploy that parachute, you gotta hope that you're not low enough to the ground that you're just gonna slam into it with the second you deploy.
There was a great video on YouTube of a guy who does base jumping and wingsuiting, and he talked about his 10 like scariest moments, and talked about how he was so close to a wall. And his angle of approach was wrong, such that if he had opened his chute, he would have slammed into the mountain face. So he backflipped and manipulated his body in such a way that when he released his chute, he still went towards the wall, but with kind of less deadly angle of projection.
So he wasn't gonna slam straight into it.
And he kicks off the wall.
Oh my god.
Into safety. And it was like a split second thing. He was like, yeah, I knew that I was gonna die, and then I did a backflip and then kicked off the face of the wall and I survived. It was like, okay.
My god.
Or he has like other stories where like he opens his chute like too late. And lucky for him, like, he landed in a bunch of pine cones or whatever. I had a friend of mine, Ben Carruth, talk about. Ben Carruth's the guy who does the storyteller, the Volsunga saga. That guy with the piercings that I showed you the video of.
Yeah, he's
back in
great,
Ukraine.
man. I wish he would have continued doing that.
Yeah, man, it's a great story.
It was super good. He didn't even finish it, did he?
No, he didn't. I don't know if that was purposeful or not, but now he's a big like filmmaker out in British Columbia now in Canada.
Great.
Yeah, his wife's like a world-class makeup artist for like huge Hollywood blockbuster movies. Like she's done stuff for like Planet of the Apes and like Avatar.
Good for him.
Like,
Man.
I don't know.
Good
like
for
a bunch
them.
of
That's
different
awesome.
movies. Anyway, he has this story where he was hiking. I forget where it was. He was hiking, and he was too close to like this cliff, like what I don't know what you call that. The cliff. He was too close to the cliff, and it was sod. Like it wasn't rock. This is like an old growth forest with like old growth mountain. It must have been Appalachia because that's what the Appalachian Mountains are like. And he's hiking along the side. He was too close. He was with his family, and the ground gave out from under him. He can tell the story better, but I like to relay the story. So the ground gives out from under him. He falls like 500 feet. Okay, 500 feet into a tree, hits every branch on the way down. Okay, lands in a pile of pine cones, survives. Right, his family is like, 500 feet up. Like it's like 10 miles in either direction to get back up to where he just fell from. And it starts downpouring, right? So it's downpouring. No. He's just managed to survive because of this tree, and he's limping along trying to find and it's getting dark, right? He's trying to find some
and is not injured.
No, I think he sustained some injuries, but not to the point where he was like broken. Like he was still ambulatory. And it starts to rain, and he walks along the what do you call it, the cavern or the gulch or whatever, and he sees a cave, and it's pouring rain, so he decides to go into the cave. The cave is a crystal cave filled with quartz crystals. Okay, in the cave, he looks over and sees. I guess he was in there until his eyes could adjust. And then he looks and he sees he's not alone in the cave. Okay? He looks across the cave. There is a mother wolf and her like 3 or 4 wolf pups also taking shelter from the rain inside the crystal cave after he fell 500 feet into the tree, didn't die.
Oh, God.
It was like a day later, finally he gets rescued. And he survived the ordeal. It was like, wow, what an incredible story.
That is a very good. I mean, that's a cool story to come out with for sure.
Right? Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't like living it.
Even if it's only partially true, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I feel like some of that might be a little bit.
It's storyteller. I mean, he's the storyteller, bro.
He is. He's good though, man. He tells great stories.
What about life or death experiences? Have you ever experienced, or would you like to share a moment when you saw the Reaper's scythe swinging through the air, barreling towards you, and you just narrowly avoided it?
Man.
Other than Duncan's massive
I'm trying to think, because like I do remember like I've had those brief moments where I've really been like, I'm gonna die right now. Like it's over. Like I'm fucked. Like,
this will be like our Halloween special.
Like I've like fallen out of like a really, really high like tree stand, basically is what it was. And like I just remember, dude, I broke my nose, that's it.
Jesus.
So like
where were you?
Fall like it was probably like 30 feet.
Oh my god.
30 solid feet.
That's scary as
flat on my face, bro.
Wow.
I just remembered that. I remember falling and being like, I'm gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. You fucked up, man. Like, So I'm falling. I hit the ground. Air gets knocked out of me. I smash my face off the ground. So I'm covered in dirt. Like my face is just smeared with dirt. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, I wish I was dead because this hurts really bad. Like,
Did
so
you
I
hit
get up or
every
whatever.
branch on the way down? Like,
No, I
did
just
you just
fell
get beat up
clean
by the tree?
straight from. No, I didn't fall from a tree. Like there was no branches on this thing.
Oh.
So like, because it was basically like a pine tree.
Oh, yeah, with no branches. Like those
Yeah,
trees on
so
Paris Island. They're really
dude.
tall, but there are no branches.
Yeah, there's ones at the top, but like not so much on the sides.
Right.
So like, oh man, so like I fell basically a foot. It was at a rope swing, and there was like little 2x4s that go all the way up it, and you basically would get to the top and you like jump off the top of it, super high. I was gonna climb up it. One of the fucking foot panels slipped. I fall like 30 feet out of this motherfucker and just land flat on my face.
Wait, this isn't a tree stand for like hunting. This is like some kind of
No, this is
obstacle
to
course?
jump out of.
Why would you jump out of the tree stand to what?
Into the water. There's like a lake there.
Oh,
And there's
it's
like
near a
rope
lake.
swings and stuff.
Okay.
So like this was one of the stands that they had out there because there's like a couple trees where they tie ropes to them, and then there's like this big pine tree that they had put 2x4s on to like make a ladder to the top of it, and you can jump off of it into the lake because the lake's really deep.
Oh. Well, that
So,
sounds like fun.
I'm climbing this beast, and I get about almost all the way up it, and I just like boom, slips, fall all the way down to my face.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Broke my nose. That was pretty lame, but like I actually ended up being okay.
When I was going to school in Boston, I came within a hair's breadth of getting hit by a bus, not once, but twice within a month. Like I remember the two incidents happened like almost within the same week. Like it was in a really short period of time, and in both times I had my headphones in, or it was dumb. I was talking to my friend, and then I literally turned to go and like step to cross the street, and twice, two separate occasions, a bus like just like shaved my face, like came like so close to my face, I could feel the warmth like off the bus, like emanating off the bus.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was definitely lucky. Have you ever eaten anything and then you were like, oh God, I think I may be poisoned right now. Maybe you should go to the hospital.
Fermented soybean paste in Japan.
Well, there's your first mistake.
Natto. That's what it's called.
Oh God, you ate natto?
Ooh, it's the grossest thing I've ever eaten in my life.
It is. It smells awful.
It just like tastes. It doesn't taste like anything. It just is mucus.
Describe the physiological effects.
Huh?
Describe the physiological effects. Did you feel like you were like poisoned? Like you felt?
I felt like I was going to die because whatever I just ate could not have been right. Someone ruined my order. Someone's fucking with me because I'm white. Like I thought it was like a racist
you get that a
thing.
lot
Where someone
in Japan.
gave me like a piece. I thought someone put cat shit inside of a roll of sushi and then gave it to me. And I thought I was totally getting fucked with. And then and I totally spit it out. I was like, oh, so I like spit it out. I look up and like no one's saying anything. No one's even looking at me. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna napkin this, and then put it under the table on the floor because I'm a terrible, terrible Caucasian male.
Yeah. How dare you?
But that was like the first time I was like trying to be all adventurous. I'm like, man, I'm gonna eat the weirdest shit in here. And I was like, cool, this looks weird. I'm gonna eat this. So I ate some fish eggs and I ate some other shit that was actually really good. And then this comes up and I'm like, well, this can't be that bad. It looks like it's a decent beige color. What could be weird about this other than it's literally made of mucus? That's what natto is. It's mucus.
The smell is like, really repulsive, actually. I mean,
yeah.
You're talking about fermented soybeans. So these are rotten soybeans. Imagine
and they're just like they're this really weird like tan beige color, and they're just lumpy, and they taste like cat shit, and they have the consistency of like a warm load.
Wait a minute. The fact that you know what cat shit tastes like as a baseline.
I know what it smells like, and my tongue and my nose are attached.
Yeah.
So I can make an educated guess on what cat shit would taste like.
I just watched Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
It's so good.
Last night. Have you seen that?
It was so good.
I've heard from a friend of mine that actually his son, the younger one, is
Yeah.
actually better than him. But because of the way that, because there's the older brother and because his father's still alive, like,
Did you watch how they did the end though? They kind
what do
of
you mean?
they said that anyway. They basically came out and said it in the movie. Because the way it ended, like they played the other son as like the downtrodden, he works for his dad and blah blah blah.
The
But
older
at the end
one,
of the
right?
movie,
The older
no,
son.
this is the younger one.
The younger son doesn't work at the
I'm
restaurant.
talking
The
about
younger,
the older one. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the older one.
the older one. He doesn't seem like he wants to be a sushi chef.
No, listen, bro. No, the end. Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing.
They played you they played you on it.
What,
They like played it. Okay, so at the end, basically in the beginning, they played him the whole time as being like the downtrodden older brother that's just not as successful as his younger brother, and he works for his dad, and he's there doing it. Like then at the end of the movie, they're like, "Oh wait, sorry. In reality, he's actually been doing this, or he's actually runs the entire restaurant by himself."
oh
already.
yeah, okay, that's right. And they were like,
He owns the restaurant. He fucking
Right.
loves it. Like he's never gonna leave. He's like, this is my dad's legacy. Because this is what I'm doing, and I love it.
right.
Like-
That's true. So maybe like the older brother is pretty badass as well. And
He
maybe
is.
Jiro is actually
They
the one
played
who's
him
kind of
so
shit.
like soft the whole movie. They're just like, man, yeah, he works with his dad. You know, he's in the shadow of his brother. And then even his brother, when they interviewed him at the restaurant, he's like, do you ever feel weird like you're overshadowing your brother? And he's like, no, he goes, absolutely not. Because I'm not. He goes, everyone knows what's gonna happen when my dad can't do what he's doing anymore.
Right, because he's the older brother. He has to take over the father's.
But Jiro doesn't
restaurant
even cook
position.
anything anymore.
No, I know.
He even
It's all.
admitted,
It's
he
like
just presents
it's the
it.
Matthew effect. The Matthew effect,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, is this effect in academia, and I'm not sure it has some biblical definition. But the Matthew effect is wherein your superiors, your boss basically takes all the credit and you do all the work. Like that's like basically what it is, and that's what's happening in. That's what happens in the Marine Corps, and that's what happens in
Real life,
Jiro's.
too.
Yeah, in Jiro's restaurant. Like all these
Yeah,
like
man.
Lance coolies are in the back like doing all the work, and he comes in and gets the nam.
The
basically.
cool part about it is though, like at the end when he's gone, like they're gonna be so good.
Yeah,
Like they're gonna be so insane at what they're doing.
yeah.
They're already crazy. Those dudes that have spent 13 years there to get an egg right.
Right, that guy who had to do that.
And
He was like,
cried.
like,
Like
no,
this has been referenced before, like, but I don't want to bring up other shows and stuff all the time because it's not our show. But like, you know, it's just crazy to think that somebody spent that much time perfecting one thing. Like, I'm pretty good at cooking, man. Like, I'm decent. I am nothing to those motherfuckers. Like, they are on another level so far beyond anything I could ever achieve. If for nothing else, than they have spent their entire lives to master one thing.
yeah, but I mean,
Oh.
even they defer to the intelligence of like the shrimp dude or the salmon guy or the tuna guy. Like they have experts at the fish market that they defer to. So, like, yeah, I
for
mean,
the quality of the meat, but not for the
the
preparation.
preparation
of
of the actual dish. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. But I'm sure that there's something that everyone does. Everyone can do something really awesome in a way. Like even if that's just like Donald Trump being an asshole. Like he's like so good at it.
He's
that,
like 10 out of 10 good asshole.
Oh yeah, that's some real good asshole.
Yeah, that's some great asshole.
Yeah. I
Donald Trump.
I would enjoy that asshole all night long. I mean, that is some enjoyable
I
asshole.
could hear that asshole talk all day.
So like everyone is capable, I think, of that. Like I obviously I'm deferent to expert skill when I encounter it, as they refer to him as the shukonin. Shukonin is like a master expert at something, an artisan.
Yeah.
Artisan level in Japan. And like, yeah, like I'll be like, wow, that's fucking awesome, and it's worthy of respect. But the minute you start trying to get me to suck your dick because you can make a fucking egg fucking sushi you know? Okay, it's like, all right, bro. Yeah, okay. I'm good with that.
I don't think I'd suck a dick for an egg. Either,
Yeah,
though.
no. You know what I mean, though?
saying.
It's like,
Yeah,
there comes a
that
point
makes
of
sense.
diminishing returns with the respect, where it's like, okay, now it's just a cult of personality. Now we're headed
I
into
love
Scientology
sushi too,
world.
but like, there's only so much you can do with sushi.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't
Jiro
know,
said
like,
that he
there's a shitload
invented.
of sushi, and there's like, they do creative shit. So don't get me wrong, they've like recreated the game. Like, they're doing shit. So like, I would never say anything bad about what they're doing, but like,
Just inside track, I hear that they're not even really that good. Like that, I've
Really?
heard that, yeah, from this guy who's going to my Japanese school here. He's a culinary guy. He's South Korean, but he wants to open. He's from Canada, and he's got like a reverence for really good food, and he's a foodie. And he was like, yeah, man. Like I studied in France for like 5 years. Like Jiro's not even really that good. Like there are people that are better than him. It was just that he has kind of like a little cult of personality going, where there was that guy in Jiro's Dreams of Sushi. There's this one guy who can't say enough good things about Jiro. Like everything that he says, he's just like he's drank the
fawning
Kool-Aid.
over him, basically.
Yeah, he's just fawning over him. He's like brewing the Kool-Aid at this point. And I think it has to do with like driving business towards the restaurant. And there are
the
a
whole
lot of
show
sushi.
is about him, you know.
They only interview one other contemporary who studied under Jiro for like 10 years. I don't know if you remember him, but he was like,
Yeah.
I have no one to succeed me. Like after me, like there's no one. And he was talking about that he worked under Jiro and that he was kind of a tyrant or whatever. But you don't really hear anyone who's Jiro's peer. Like there are other old ass fucking sushi chefs in Japan who would be like, Jiro, bitch, please. Like that motherfucker, like, yeah, he's aight. He's aight.
Yeah, but isn't that, it's like, so are you saying that like sushi culture in Japan is much akin to like hip hop culture in America?
What do you mean? Like in terms of like MCs, like,
Yo, he's all right. He ain't that good.
yeah,
He ain't
well,
that good. It's like a fucking rap battle with sushi pieces.
right,
Like Jiro's fucking slanging his best tuna, and
right.
some dude down in Osaka's fucking doing his thing.
Well, you get that even in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like for someone who is not an interloper, but kind of like a spectator looking in from the outside, then there's like they see one magic trick and they're like, oh my god, that's the greatest magician in the world. He just made that penny disappear. Did you see that? Unbelievable.
Whoa. Yeah,
But
I see what you're saying.
then when you enter deeper into the circles, then of whatever the discipline is, then you start to see that there's this pecking order. It kind of emerges and quality emerges and so on and so forth. And I think the fact that the Michelin Guide guys that gave Jiro's restaurant 3 stars, I think that the fact that they, for all intents and purposes, were served by the older brother and not by Jiro is testament to that fact. That like maybe Jiro
It's his
is just
restaurant.
old in that we attribute,
He's more
high
of a
quality.
figurehead now, man. He's not
Right,
so
right.
much like, the dude's done. Like, he had his time. Like,
Right.
the son invents stuff now, and then Jiro basically just like gives his input on it. That's how it happens, you know.
Takes all the
The
credit.
other he did. I mean, I don't think he takes all the credit. I think he's basically, it's still his
That's true.
restaurant. But
did say
his
that.
son is clearly running it by himself.
Right, but you're right though. In defense of Jiro, he does admit to the fact, or he says in the movie, he's like, the food is 90% done by the time it gets to me.
Yeah, he's like, I just give it to the people.
Yeah.
He's like, So it's not like he was trying to claim all the credit anyway. He straight up outright said that he doesn't make the food anymore.
Well, he confesses that in the film, but to all of the customers, I mean, they're paying for Jiro more so than they're paying for the food itself. If
Do you
they
think
found
so?
out, I don't
think I would
so.
pay that much to go sit in front of a fucking old dude.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like it's a cultural thing here, you know. It's like,
Is it really that popular there?
yeah, it's like sushi is like, oh my god.
Well, I know
it's like,
sushi is, but I'm talking about like Jiro specifically. Like, do you hear people go, I'm going to go eat at Jiro's?
Japanese people, and this is going to be a horrible racist generalization, okay, but I was like, What I'm saying is that Japanese people tend to attribute value to things. They tend to attribute value to things which Americans, we would be like, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care to be served by the chef in the restaurant. As long as I go to a really nice restaurant where I hear that the chef is working, even if I don't see him actually prep the food himself, like, I don't care. Like, I'm hungry. Like, maybe I'm just speaking this way because I'm hungry right now, and there are probably foodies out there who are like, that's blasphemy. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you feel? Do you think that the chef is necessary, or is it just like the dish, the final
to
product?
serve. Here's the thing. It really just depends on what you're doing. If it's your restaurant and you're the chef that owns that restaurant and you want to be a part of the dining experience, great. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Like, I think it's a good thing. I think it's interesting that the chef can explain what they were trying to do with their dish as they're serving it to you. That's pretty fucking awesome to have that. Now, is it necessary? Nah, like, not really. The food's still super great. But I think it goes as like a courtesy of service when you're paying that much for your food to be able to meet the chef that prepared it for you.
That's true. At those really fancy restaurants too,
like if you're talking to like a
that.
Rene Redzepi character, who's the chef, the head chef at Noma, which is like currently the #1 restaurant in the world. Every single person that comes in, as they're coming in, he introduces himself and he seats you.
Yeah, because it's more than just the food; it's the experience. And Jiro talks about that. He's like, cleanliness is really important. He was like, there are 5 principles that any great chef needs to live by, and like one of them was cleanliness. I'm wondering, do you think if you Marine Corps field dayed your restaurant, that would appreciably affect the taste of the meal?
Yep.
Or like,
Absolutely.
you think it would?
Yep.
Do you think that someone would be able to detect?
It would affect your experience. Just trust, man. If you're working with not clean equipment,
I mean, obviously
you can sense it. You can sense it. There's a difference in the, quality of the food that's produced.
I'm not talking about clean. I'm talking about Marine Corps field day clean, Chinese field day, like dusting every surface.
Not
even like
dusting
the door
every
frame.
surface, but dude, the cleaner the better in a kitchen.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm in a kitchen a lot. Like, the cleaner that shit is, the more comfortable you're in. The more comfortable you are in that area. And for me, being clean is really comfortable. Yeah. The more clean it is, like, you're gonna cook better in that environment than if you're in like a cluttered, like, not so organized, maybe even like a little bit dingy environment. You're just not gonna do as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's all personal preference. That's just how I feel about it. You know, like, I don't like cooking when my kitchen's nasty.
Right.
It's just stuff doesn't feel right. Like, there's dishes in the sink. I gotta drain this grease off. Like, I can't.
But the
do
greasy
anything.
spoon, Trailer Park Master Chef, the virtue of the greasy spoon.
No, I don't believe in that.
Greasy.
I'm dispelling myths about trailer dwellers.
Oh, okay. You're not trying to reinforce.
Not trying to cement them.
Yeah. What else? What else we got? That was a pretty good tear on Jiro. We're nearing the hour mark. I'd like to thank everyone for listening today. If you liked what you heard, if you felt it was educational, if you felt it was entertaining, please donate. We are shoestring budget here. Can use the money. That means you listening right now. Donate now. Yes, you.
If you want, we would like you to. But
it's
you don't
not an
have
if
to.
you want thing. It's like, you have to do this or that's it. Like,
suffer the consequences.
Yeah. Reap the whirlwind. Face the
whirlwind. There you go.
Shao Kahn. You got anything to plug? Trailer Park Master Chef, Instagram?
Just my Instagram, man, at Trailer Park Master Chef. If you guys hear this, follow me. Like, I'm cooking new stuff all the time. I'm going to start doing recipes here pretty soon. I've been being lazy about it and just taking my pictures. I'm going to start posting stuff to the website as well. So if there's anybody here listening that actually visits our website, you can check it out on there, and hopefully I'll have some new stuff up soon.
Yes, excellent. We'll catch you on the next episode. I'm supposed to be having my friend who is a professor of developmental psychology at Harvard. Zach Stein on to promote his new book. That should be tomorrow, the next day. Probably the next day. Anyway, a lot of great guests coming up. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right?
See ya.
World peace.